in the derelict right down to Ramya. And like I say, some were little children, but somebody had to do it, right? Anyway, eventually I got enough nerve to go out in the open sea, and that's when I went for Larry Orwood. Just after that, I got into construction work. He was putting in a new dock in Port of S, so I got hired on by Pitt's Construction. I think it was somewhere around $14 an hour. But I didn't mind that. Somebody for a stick overboard, I was gone like a dog. I thought $14 an hour was a lot of money. So I started off with them. They'd do like phase one. Then there was another company from Quebec, I forget its name, I went with them. And then I was starting to, getting a reputation for knowing something that I never got drowned up at that point. So then I went with McNamara and done 3 years. I worked down there doing all the dock, right? And at times, like you say, some of the diving that had to be done was very, very dangerous, like putting in those big concrete slabs, 18-ton crane, just lower them down, and we had to place them on the bottom. But I had good backup because Brother Lloyd, he was a scuba diver, and he had lots of nerve. He only lost his nerve after he became mayor of Port of S. So as many of you know that I found 2 mariners, astrolabes, not 1, but 2. So I'm going to discuss in detail later what an astrolabe was. But it's essentially, it was a navigation tool that they used to use to find their distance from the equator. I'm going to just do a quick demonstration on those replicas that I made. This is a replica of the second one that I found, made in France in 1617 by Adrian Allen. How they used to use it, they would suspend this astrolabe on a string. This particular one here was made wedge-shaped, thick on the bottom, narrow on the top, so it always hangs heavy, perpendicular to the ground. It's sculpted out in the middle, so when there was a lot of wind, it wouldn't sway in the wind. That's the reason that it's sculpted out like that. This dial on it is called an Adelaide. What that does is, at noon, exactly 12 o'clock on a fine day, which there weren't very many when they got Newfoundland, he would stand midship, face the sun, and he would rotate this dial around like this. And when the shadow from this plate lines up with this one, and the little bead of light through this hole lines up with this hole, then that would give you the angle that the sun is up on the horizon. Then the navigator had a chart that he could go to and figure out the tilt of the Earth at that particular date, the declination, because the way the Earth rotates around the sun, whereas on the axis in the summer is pointed towards the sun, and in the winter is pointed away from the sun. That's why we got summer, winter, and spring and fall. So he knew what time of year it was, and he go to this chart and figure out. He knew the angle now from the horizon back, and he knew the angle where he was at out, because it's 90 degrees, because this hangs perpendicular to the ground, and he could figure out their latitude. And what the latitude is the distance from the equator. If you left Paris, France, and you went to St. John's, Newfoundland, if you could stay on that same latitude line, you leave France, and you come across the Atlantic Ocean, and you go right into St. John's. But what was happening, the tide and the wind would probably be taking you north or south. So you'd be still going in the direction, but you wouldn't be coming at the same place that you were in before. So anyway, this is where the astrolabe come in. He would take a shot, and they could tell that they were too far north from this latitude line or too far south. But what happened when they got to Isle of Mort? No sunshine. They didn't even get as far as Port of S. Right? They couldn't figure out where they were at. Thick fog down off Burt Island, running to a rock 3/4 mile offshore. No way of getting out of it. This wreck, those astrolabes, the people, she sank right in Tinker Island Passage where the cannons was and the bottom of the ship and everything, right on the island where old George Harvey lived. And he rescued the people off the dispatch. down off Bird Islands in 1828. So we thought first that, this was the wreck of the dispatch from Northern Ireland, but it wouldn't. This was a wreck that was there hundreds of years, even before that. They called it back then the Islands after Dead. They never called it that for fun, because they were stuck for a name. They called it because of all the people that got drowned on Isle of Mort Island. Probably the people that live in the Isle of Mort now could be descendants of people from the Astrolabe wreck. Who knows? Because once you get stranded in Isle of Mort, I don't think there was too much woods that you could build a ship out of, get out of it. Nobody's going to come in that close to pick you up. So, I often wonder what was the story behind it. You know what I mean? So anyway, off track again.